the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the SHROCK desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor SHROCK. I'm the owner of the SHROCK Innovations Computer Company. 4 great, big, beautiful locations to help you out when your computer is, being nuts, doing stupid stuff, not AIing the AI or getting all crazy with AI. We can fix it all for you over at SHROCK Innovations. First location was it's basically in Lincoln, Nebraska, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Little construction around there, so be patient when you're coming in there. Then we have Omaha, 168th and Burke Street, and just across the street from the Village Point Mall. Papillion, 84th and Highway 370. Also, we've got the newest SHROCK Innovations location at 9500 University Avenue in West Des Moines, Iowa. 402-558-1110. That's the number to join us on the program today. If you're outside the Omaha metro area, we'll pick up the tab for your call, and you can you can give us a call at 888-250-2091. As we do every week, we'll be drawing one lucky winner at the end of the program to win a $25 SHROCK Innovations gift certificate. Good for anything your heart desires. Haven't had this happen in a while, but we had somebody win twice in 90 days. So just a quick reminder, you can win once every 90 days. So if you're calling because you love the show, you're calling because you love the guys, you're calling because you have a computer problem, you can call all day, every day. We love your calls. Callers make the program. If you're just calling to win, well, you can only win once every 90 days. So, I don't want you to break your back to find out you didn't actually win after you were so excited that you won. Otherwise, we have people, because we don't expire these certificates. It's literally like a gift certificate or a gift card. So we'll have people call every week and try to rack up like $900 of gift certificates, and they're like, I want a holiday special. Like, oh gosh, that's crazy stuff. All right, so this week, guys, this is crazy. There are so many stories to talk about this week that I cannot get them all in the show. I literally had a situation where I had to pick and choose among a pool of interesting stories which ones to cover today. On top of that, quick program note, today is my son's 6th birthday party. My wife, the lovely Kimberly, requires my presence to set up the party that starts at 11, which means I can't do an aftershock this week. So I thought, why don't I just record one pandemic style the night before? So it's really weird because, here I am all clean shaven, ready to go, studio, green screen, the whole bit. And then the aftershock, suddenly I'm this disheveled human being at 11 o'clock at night with a 2-day beard. And I'm like, hey, welcome into the aftershock. What do you want from me? So it was fun, though. So you're going to get an aftershock, but I just won't be here, if that makes sense. That's going to kick off at 8:05, so it's going to start just about the same time as the normal aftershock does, right at the conclusion of this program at facebook.com/SHROCK Innovations. By the way, we are broadcasting live at Facebook, facebook.com/SHROCK Innovations, where you can join all the fans of Shrockville, self-named. I didn't do that. We were discussing the other week on the aftershock. If you are in Shrockville, are you a Shrockvillian? Shrockvillain? Shrockvillain, that sounds great. Are you a Shrockster? What are you if you're in Shrockville? So it was kind of funny. We were having some fun conversations, and that's what happens when you're on facebook.com/SHROCK Innovations with the whole crew there. You can join in and be a part of that conversation as well. If you missed the show last week, you can check it out on our website, SHROCKinnovations.com. We post all the previous shows there for you, as well as the aftershocks. The aftershocks, the shows go to YouTube. The aftershocks go to Rumble because, sometimes we say things in the aftershock and YouTube doesn't like it, so we just rumble those and call it good. We don't want to risk. We got a strike once, and we didn't want to get any more strikes. All right, so if you missed the show last week, we did talk about the maintenance checkup special from a different angle, slightly different angle, so we'll cover that again here today because time is almost up on that sale, by the way. We warned you last week if you use Roku that you may be the victim of a password breach, so you should roll your password on Roku if you haven't done so already. We also gave you an update on the new Drive Advisor, rapid development progress this week. One of the biggest changes this week, some people said, Thor, I love how it shows up in the bottom right corner of my screen. I just wish it didn't live there. I wish it wasn't there all the flippin' time. Well, now you can minimize it to the taskbar. And so it seems to disappear to the taskbar, which is great as long as you know where it goes so you can go back and get it again. So fun stuff there. The development continues. And by the way, if you've been in for a maintenance checkup and you have the new version of Drive Advisor, your version of Drive Advisor should automatically update to the most recent version each time you launch it or each time you start your computer. So if it hasn't updated, just go ahead and launch it manually, and it should update to the most recent version for you so that you're constantly getting the newest beta development version. We are very, very close to final release here, guys. So we wouldn't be loading it on your computer if we didn't have confidence in what it could do. The last thing we need to do is we need to turn on the alerts. I apologize, by the way, if you got a weird text message about your computer or your battery. We were doing some testing and accidentally left the transmit the messages little button turned on. It's the equivalent of a studio live mic when you don't know the microphone is on and you're saying things and you're just hoping you didn't say anything offensive or bad or anything that could be construed as offensive or bad, or you weren't complaining about someone in your family. You know, you're just hoping. So we sent out some messages. If you got one, sorry about that. They were accurate messages. If you have a bad battery, you got a bad battery message, but it was like bad battery message from SHROCK. It wasn't incredibly informative. So we're cleaning that up, and we got that turned off for future development as well. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. Coming up on the show today, if you were watching the news at all this week, I don't know how you couldn't, Nvidia announced some new chips. We're going to break it down Barney style because I know you're all super excited about the silicon engineering that goes into AI processors. But when you see the scale of what Nvidia is doing, you begin to understand the market valuation of Nvidia. So we're going to talk about that for a few minutes here. Also, more important news, a huge design flaw was uncovered this week that impacts all Apple computers equipped with M processors. So M1, M2, M3, as well as all iPads equipped with M processors. So basically, you don't want to store cryptocurrency on a Mac. Do not do it because your keys are not safe. Anything cryptographic on a Mac is not safe anymore. And we're going to go into the details on that. And unfortunately, it's an unpatchable vulnerability. It's a hardware vulnerability. There's nothing Apple can do to fix it. So we're going to talk about that going forward and give you all the details there. And also, because I know you're concerned about AI, the robot takeover, everything like that. During the Aftershock, we're going to talk about DoorDash delivering via drone in the United States now. You can actually order Wendy's and have it delivered by a drone in Virginia. It's crazy. Any listeners in Virginia, we're going to tell you which Wendy's to order from and select drone delivery at checkout. And then they'll fly it to your house. We're going to tell you all about it during the Aftershock. I know because I recorded it last night. It was weird last night talking about and as we talked about on the program earlier today, and I just leveled with you. I was like, guys, I haven't done the program yet. Should I continue to talk as if I know what I've talked about? Or should I just be honest and be like, I think I was supposed to talk about that, but maybe I got sidetracked, random neuron didn't get there. I don't know. It was really a weird thing. So it's going to be an interesting Aftershock. So the drone delivery stuff is pretty crazy. But one of the things that I have to get to before we get to all the fun stuff is I need to let you know that the maintenance checkup sale at SHROCK Innovations is nearly over. It ends at the end of the month, which is coming up rapidly. For those of you who are not aware, Easter Sunday is like the 31st. I mean, some people hearing this program for the first time, because some places it's a little tape delay, they're going to be like, oh my God, Easter's tomorrow. Oh no, what are we going to do? So Easter Sunday is the 31st. Then Monday, the sale is over on maintenance checkups. So the reason I bring it up is I know what we usually see is the first week of the maintenance checkup sale, a huge rush of people getting into the service center to beat the rush. Weeks 2 and 3, we see a lot of certificate sales, people who don't have time to come in right then, but they're going to come in later. But then week 4, people who bought the certificates figure, okay, the rush is over, so they start coming in with their computers, and all of the procrastinators of the world unite to say, oh, shoot, I don't have time to bring it in. I better get a certificate. And then inevitably on Monday, we're going to get phone calls from people. Hey, I tried to go on the website and buy a certificate and it's gone and it's $100 instead of the $60 that it normally is or that it is on special. And how do I get the special price? And so we don't want to put you in the boat where you miss out on an opportunity to save 40% off of something that you absolutely need. So here's the deal. Last week, we talked about maintenance checkups from the perspective of what do they do for you? And I have an example. On the bench in Papillion, we had a customer that came in yesterday with a computer, and he said, my screen is artifacting. He didn't say that, of course. He said, I'm getting weird symbols and smiley faces and stuff on my screen. I don't know what's going on. And so you're like, smiley faces. And then all the guys know, okay, that's artifacting. Artifacting is when your graphics card, your graphics processor gets so hot that it goes glitch. And it throws like a random ASCII smiley face on the screen or something rather than the pixels that are supposed to be there. And so you just get these weird like symbols popping up all over the screen and you're wondering, am I falling into the matrix? What's going on? You know, weird stuff is scrolling around. I have no idea. Well, we get into his computer. We figure, okay, you know, his graphics card is pretty old, but it's a very simple graphics card, like one that maybe needed a fan and maybe just needed a heat sink, you know? It's like, it's really old. Like it wasn't like a big GPU or anything for gaming. It was just a basic multi-monitor productivity graphics card. It had a fan. Inside the fan, I don't know if the cat got caught in the fan or if it was just, you know, maybe they kept it in a bathroom. I don't know, but there was a hairball in the fan and it was preventing the fan from turning. So Austin removes the hairball from the fan, cleans the graphics card, puts it back in because we're like, you know, graphics cards, if once they start artifacting, it can damage the chip. You can get so hot, it can desolder the chip from the board. And then there's no fixing that easily. You're just going to replace the graphics card. But maybe we didn't get that far, right? So let's remove the hairball. We put the graphics card back in. We stress test the graphics card. So this is a basic everyday graphics card that was getting to 120 degrees Celsius with a hairball. 120 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius. It was hot. Like normally around 80, 90 degrees, your gaming graphics card is starting to smoke, right? This thing is not a gaming card. I don't know how it's getting this hot. So once the hairball was removed, it pegs out around 70, which is warm, but I mean, that's under a stress test. This guy's not stress testing it. That was pushing the card as hard as it could. With the fan working, it was at 70%. No artifacting. Everything was great. What was the problem that he came in and spent an hour of labor on, suffered through artifacting, downtime, the whole bit? Hair in a fan. What a stupid thing to have your computer go down for, right? Hair in a fan. Oh my goodness. That's what the maintenance checkup's for. When you get in your car, when I got in my son's Bronco Sport, see, my son's Bronco Sport was on the driveway this morning, so it got rained on all night. My truck is nice and clean. The Mustang's nice and clean. They're not going out in the rain right now. I'm taking the wet car, right? So I get in my son's Bronco Sport, and I get in, and I push that push to start button, and you know what I expect to happen? I expect that mother trucker to start. If it doesn't start, I'm angry. Like, I expected it to start. Why is it not starting? I paid money for this thing to start, you know, that kind of thing. When you hit that power button on your computer, when you hit go, you expect it to start. You expect it to work. It shouldn't crash. It shouldn't blue screen. It shouldn't cause you grief. You expect it to just work. That's what maintenance checkups do. It keeps things just working, and you can choose to do these on your schedule. In other words, you don't have to run in right now. Maybe you just got a new computer from us. Maybe you're like, Thor, I just bought a holiday special. I don't need a maintenance checkup yet. You're absolutely right. You need one every 6 months, and it certainly hasn't been 6 months since you got your holiday special. But buy the certificate. Go on our website at SHROCKinnovations.com, go to Shop and Specials, and select a certificate. Get one for each computer in your house that you plan on maintaining. Kids off at college? Great. When they come back, you can have maintenance done on their computers. When they're not using them, it's ideal. So pick up some certificates. You can call into the shop if you don't do the online order thing, and we'll order them over the phone for you. If you're having trouble with the website or, you know, whatever, we'll help you out. But just don't miss this opportunity to save 40% on these things, guys, because it's not going to come around again this year. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Coming up on the program, Nvidia is pushing the boundaries with their new chips, guys. These things 25 times faster than NVIDIA's fastest AI chip today. That's what Blackwell is going to do, and we're going to tell you about it coming up next on Compute This.
Remember the good old days when virus detection worked like Where's Waldo? Spot the virus in the striped shirt and you win. Today's infections are changing hourly to avoid detection and use social engineering to trick you into making mistakes. Using yesterday's security to defend against today's threats is like using leeches to stop an infection. It just doesn't work. We recommend Sophos Intercept X antivirus backed by SHROCK's virus-free guarantee. Sophos uses the power of AI to detect the patterns of a virus attack and responds with SHROCK's custom actions that stop it fast. With Sophos on your PC, Mac, Android, or iOS device, you get the state-of-the-art protection you need to defend against the most advanced attacks out there. In fact, if your device gets a virus while running Sophos antivirus, SHROCK will remove it for free, guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet, and we intend to keep it that way. Ditch your dad's antivirus and keep your device, data, and identities safe with Sophos and SHROCK Innovations.
SHROCK Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let SHROCK get your data back.
You know your computer needs modern antivirus, and you know using a VPN helps protect your identity online. But did you know that all of that protection could be useless if you're running outdated programs? We all run common free software like Adobe Reader, Dropbox, Firefox, and Chrome. Every day there are critical security updates for these common programs that don't get automatically installed for up to 2 weeks. That's an eternity in today's world. That's why SHROCK created Secure Updater. Secure Updater checks for and installs these critical updates every 8 hours, boosting your antivirus by closing off attack vectors before they can be used to penetrate your computer. Go to secureupdater.com and try it for free. We are so confident in our product, we don't even ask for a credit card to start the trial. Go to secureupdater.com today and start your 14-day trial and enjoy having the peace of mind that your software is being updated quickly and safely. You will be shocked at the number of programs that are out of date on your PC right now. Get your 14-day free trial at secureupdater.com.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor SHROCK. I'm the owner of the SHROCK Innovations Computer Company. 4 locations to help you out. I don't know what it is. I've had people ask me this before, but people apparently back in the day bought Bose CD player radios. And it was like a Bose. It sounds amazing, right? But for whatever reason, Bose used really cheap capacitors in those radios, and so all of them are dying now. And Grant in the Lincoln Service Center in our board repair division is able to replace those capacitors and restore those things to working order for you. So we have had 2 people this week say, "Can I bring in my Bose?" And so this is just in. You can bring in your Bose radio, and we'll fix it for you. Get it all working again. Who'd have thought who fixes TVs? Who fixes radios? I guess we're fixing radios. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. Also, if you're outside the metro area, you can reach us at 888-250-2091. Steve, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yeah, I got these 2 messages from Drive Advisor about my computer was the C drive and the S drive was failing.
Okay.
And I just had this machine in last week for the maintenance check. What's going on here?
Gotcha. So I mentioned earlier in the program that there were some inadvertent messages sent by Drive Advisor. The messages. Okay, this is getting in the weeds a little bit, but there are different types of hard drives in computers. So we have solid state hard drives that are SATA. And we have solid-state hard drives that are NVMe. The old Drive Advisor can't read NVMe drives because they didn't exist when we built it. And they use a different type of reporting for errors and wear, and they don't break the same way other hard drives break. And so anything that the old Drive Advisor tells you about an NVMe drive is not true. So that's why we're developing the new version of Drive Advisor that accurately reads all existing types of hard drives and then sends alerts. Well, NVMe hard drives, they have wear levels. So over time, the more you use them, the lower they get. So it's completely okay to have an NVMe hard drive at 99% health. It just means you've used it a little bit. You know, when it gets down to like 80%, then we start to get concerned. But 1% is fine. Well, on every other hard drive that is in existence, if you go from 100% to 99%, it's the equivalent to your computer having a heart attack. And it's super serious. So our Drive Advisor, the OG Drive Advisor, was hard-coded to say anything that drops from 100% to 99% is a bad hard drive. Well, you have an NVMe hard drive. Your hard drive is at 99%, let's say. Well, Drive Advisor sent you an alert and said, That's what we were actually working on, recoding the alerts so that we could separate out the NVMe drives and also add the battery alerts, because now we alert you if your battery's going bad in your laptop too. And we were adding all that in, and Alfonso accidentally left the little slider for send messages turned on. And so it shotgunned out like 10,000 messages to people, most of which were correct. Some of them were not correct. So the fact that you just had it in for a maintenance checkup, I'm sure you're good to go. If you would like us to double check for you, we'd be happy to get connected over the SHROCK desk, no charge to you, and just take a look at the computer and make sure that everything is okay. But my guess is you just got one of those errant messages.
Yeah, well, I just purchased this in 2020, so it's, to me, that's not that old. Really.
Well, we tell you they last 4 to 6 years, and you're in year 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, whatever, SHROCK. You ain't selling me a new computer, you shyster.
So it should be okay because I just had it in for a maintenance check.
You should be just fine, Steve.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you for the call today. And see, folks, it's that easy. We can have fun. We can get him in the drawing for a $25 SHROCK Innovations gift certificate. We can send him a bunch of emails about stuff that's not broken. Isn't that amazing, right? 402-558-1110, the pains of development, lessons learned, 888-250-2091. So if you heard any of the news about Nvidia this week, you probably know that they announced their new Blackwell chips. Everybody in the investment world got excited about this, but the stock kind of meandered around a little bit. Let me give you what was lost in all this stuff. Everybody was looking at it. Are they going to keep their impressive valuation? Are they going to, is the stock going to continue to climb? What is it? Nobody stopped to ask, what exactly do these Blackwell chips do at 4 nanometer technology? 4. I mean, remember when like 10 was a big deal? Now 10 is the stuff they can make in China on the junky factories that have dirt on the floor, that have like no concrete floor. That's where they can make 10 nanometer microchips now. There's like a hefty trash bag over a machine and they make 10 nanometer chips. These chips are 4 nanometer. Now, what difference does that make? The thinner you can make the wafers, the more wafers you can put in a chip. The more wafers you put in a chip, the more it can do. And the smaller the layers are, the less power they use. So you're actually, what Nvidia did this week is they packed a beautiful suitcase for Moore and Moore's Law and said, thanks, but you're done. Because this whole every year speed will double and power consumption will go down by 50%. Nvidia just blew that out of the water. The new Blackwell chips are literally 25 times faster than today's fastest Nvidia chips, and they use half as much power, which is a big deal because you need a lot of them to train a language AI model. As smart as GPT-4 is, the new one they're developing, GPT-5, needs exponentially more time to train. They've been training GPT-4 for years. So we're talking like with today's fastest processors, if you were going to train GPT-5 with today's processors, it would take 1,000 years to train it. Isn't that amazing that little kids can learn stuff? Like my 6-year-old's pretty smart. He's already sight reading stuff, and we never taught him how to read. He's just figuring it out. And, didn't take him 1,000 years to learn how to read Chat GPT-5. The new chips do, this is where we're going to get technical. The new chips do 20 petaflops each. That's a lot of trampoline time. So petaflops are like, it's a ridiculous amount of processing power. And they can be networked together. They can be linked together like Legos. So you can take 2, put it together, you got 40 petaflops. You take 4, and now you have 80 petaflops. You get the idea. So now, to train the new GPT-5 model, we only need 50 million Blackwell chips working together at the same time to train it in a reasonable amount of time. That is the equivalent of 1.25 billion of NVIDIA's chips today. So you want to train GPT-5, NVIDIA has to make 1.25 billion chips. I don't know how many they make. I doubt they make 1.25 billion in a year total for everything. But now you can do it with 50 million with this new chip. Chat GPT-5 will be able to link. Why is Chat GPT-5? Who cares about GPT-5? What's different about it? Well, GPT-4 is smart. It can respond to you. What powers Copilot, which is kind of getting its legs under it. It's a really interesting thing to look at. That's going to be a huge productivity gain for businesses in the coming years, and we can do a whole show on that at some point. But Chat GPT-5 is like the middle manager of GPTs. it goes out. You tell ChatGPT-5 what you want to do. I would like to make an audio-visual presentation based on the document that I created for the new Drive Advisor. Okay, so ChatGPT-5 says, okay, well, we're going to need to make slides. So I'm going to commission a GPT AI, a submind, basically, to create the PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint slides require text. ChatGPT-4 can write that. It also requires images, so let's get another submind working on images for that. We want it to be interactive, so we need some video. We don't have any video to play with, so we're going to have to make some video. So here we're going to task another submind on actually making the video for the PowerPoint presentation. Now, once we have all this put together, we have to add animations. We're going to put it through Microsoft's Copilot, which you literally can give Microsoft Copilot a Word document and say, create this into a PowerPoint presentation, and it will do it, animations and everything. It'll make your slides for you guys. If you've ever had to live through a PowerPoint hell, or worse yet, make a PowerPoint hell for somebody else, now you could just do it with AI. Poof. There you go. And it's free. It comes right on your flipping computer. It's free. You have to have Microsoft 365 to use that. So there's some limitations. So it's eventually come into the desktop software. They're just working their way down. So ChatGPT-5 is going to be the tool that actually gets things done. It's not going to replace people, don't get me wrong, because somebody still has to tell it what to do and judge its work and tweak its work and train it. The more you use your Copilot, the smarter it gets. And I talk about this in the Aftershock a little bit coming up too with Alfonso and his coding, how now when his ChatGPT-4 codes for him, it looks like his code because it's coded for him so much and he's corrected it so much, it understands how he codes. Same thing with writing. Same thing with emails. So imagine your ChatGPT-5 is able to process every email you have ever sent or received. And from that, learn your writing style. And then not only will it sort your spam for you, but the easy to reply to emails, it could just reply to those for you. Just like an assistant. And you don't have to do anything. So it's not going to replace you, but it's going to make you incredibly more productive in your job, which of course will mean we require fewer humans in their jobs. So is it going to replace people? Indirectly, yes. Is it going to replace you specifically? Probably not. So there you go. But that's what's coming, guys. And it's all being made possible because of these amazing chips that Nvidia has. Now, not to be outdone, Intel has their new ultra-core processors that are going to be coming out probably around Christmas time that are AI-enabled processors. AMD, if you bought a holiday special, no sweat, you've already got the 7040U. So the holiday special laptop already has what is AMD's best AI processor for co-processing AI. The holiday special desktop can do it no sweat. So you've already got the good stuff there. But AMD is actually coming out with a whole new series of chips, AI2 chips, that should be out around Christmas time, that actually are re-engineered Ryzen chips specifically to handle AI co-processing. So when you're trying to do things with your Copilot and stuff like that, it's using the processor in an efficient way. The hardware is starting to change, guys. That's when you know something is real. So anyway, that's what happened with Nvidia this week. I thought it was really interesting from a technological perspective. Whenever you have a 25 times gain in speed in a single year, that's absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, and makes you wonder what they're going to have next year. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Got to take our bottom of the hour break because, of course, I'm late on that. But when we come back, we're going to talk about this huge security vulnerability that impacts all Apple M-class computers. So the M1, the M2, the M3, your secure email is not secure anymore. Your keychain is not secure anymore. Your cryptocurrency wallet, don't even do that on a Mac. And we're going to tell you what's going on coming up next on Compute This.
There are enough unused computers in storage to give every man, woman, and child in the U.S. an old, outdated, and useless computer system. Obsolete tablets and smartphones are nearly as bad. Most people know not to throw them into the landfill where they leak and contaminate, but it's hard to find a place to safely recycle electronics. That's why SHROCK Innovations offers free recycling for computers, laptops, phones, tablets, cords, and accessories. In fact, only monitors and printers have a small recycling fee. Everything else is free. More importantly, SHROCK will securely delete any data from your devices and hard drives before they are sent to a certified recycling partner who will then repeat the wiping process just to be safe. When you recycle your old technology at SHROCK, you know your identity and privacy are protected and your equipment is being actually recycled by a certified recycling partner. SHROCK is proud to recycle more e-waste than we produce annually, making a positive difference to our economy and ecology. Do your part by dropping your old gear at any SHROCK service center and be part of the area's largest and most popular technology recycling program with SHROCK Innovations.
SHROCK Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business.
You would probably rather drink the water at Camp Lejeune than get another call about the desperate need to renew your car's expiring warranty. Who actually responds to those calls? Everyone wants to play the warranty game where you pay money now just in case you need service later that everyone hopes you won't need or use. It's such a waste. It's no different with computers. Major manufacturers' warranties have more subscript crosses than a Sunday morning church service. Batteries are exempt, hard drives must be completely dead, and forget about anything that they can remotely claim as physical damage. That's why SHROCK warranties are different. When you purchase a modular PC or a solid-state laptop and extend your warranty, we offer a no-risk money-back guarantee. If you need the warranty, you will be thrilled to have it. If you don't use it, we refund your money automatically every time. That's right, we are so confident in the quality of our products that our extended warranties are refundable. Many SHROCK customers use their refunds to purchase another warranty or pocket the savings and move on. We all know you'll need it to cover that expiring car warranty anyway. SHROCK's refundable extended warranties. Just another way the SHROCK Innovations Computer Company makes your computer work for you.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. Sorry. If you're watching the feed on Facebook, you're like, what are they laughing about? Oh, gosh, you guys should be here. It's amazing. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. 888. If you're outside the metro area, 888-250-2091. Paul, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Got a couple questions. Number one, I came across a free trial on Selfos.
Yeah.
And it was like a month trial, and it was like $44 a year or something like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyway, I got sick of these other ones, so they just came up with the same, every time you run them, they just came up with the same thing as like, just false.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing my job here type thing. But it's kind of called Home Premium something or other.
Yeah,
is
the
that
home
the
version.
same? Is that the same stuff that you guys advertise? Or
You are a flipping clairvoyant, Paul, because I talk about this in the Aftershock that I pre-recorded. But basically, no, it's not the same. That's the home version. That's the consumer version. And one of the things that's going on in our industry right now, in my industry, is, if you want the big bucks, if you want to expand, if you want to have somebody walk in the door like a private equity firm, drop $15 million on your head, you better be doing business-to-business stuff, and you better be telling consumers to go take a hike. Because consumers are not profitable. Consumers are a waste of time. You want the business clients, and that's what everybody wants you to do. And SHROCK is different because what we do is we take consumers and we give them business-grade solutions. Because just because you're a consumer, why should you get crappier antivirus than a business? That doesn't make any sense. So we can do it for a business. It doesn't cost us more to do it for you. So the Sophos that we offer is actually the AI-powered Sophos. You're getting the home version, which is equivalent to like a McAfee or a Norton. It's literally a definition-based antivirus program. Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, no doubt. But not the same as the AI-driven stuff. On top of that, backed with SHROCK's group policy, where there's only one program that can run that will allow people to remote into your computer. I won't say what it is on the air, but it's what we use for the SHROCK desk, so we have to allow it. But all the others get automatically blocked, so even if you get tricked into somebody like, oh, yeah, your computer's full of viruses, your monitor's infected with an IP address, and it's a mess. Well, if you're like, okay, why don't you take a look? And then they try to remote in, and it's like, can't get in. Why? Well, because just give us a call at SHROCK and we'll say that's ridiculous. Your monitor is not infected with an IP address. Somebody's trying to trick you. Don't let them in. And then if you still want to let them in, hey, it's your computer. Well, we'll turn it off and let them in. But basically, you're getting a network administrator. when you sign up for the Sophos with SHROCK, that is guiding you through all this stuff, who is telling your computer to automatically take actions in certain circumstances, whereas the home version is going to ask you what do you want to do and give you the opportunity to make a mistake. Not because they'd engineered it that way, but because consumers' environments are so radically different that the objective is to please everybody, to create a piece of software that is everything to everybody. That's why nobody wants consumers, because it's very difficult to service them. Business software is, I am the network administrator. You can call me God, and I am going to tell you what you can and can't do with your computer, lowly human. Well, then what we do at SHROCK is we throw a layer of this old-fashioned brew of stuff called customer service right in the middle. And so basically, yes, we use those forceful policies to keep you safe. But then when you're trying to do something, or you have a piece of software that won't run on your computer, you can call us and we can create an exception for you in the group policy that doesn't impact everybody else, just you. And then your computer does what you want it to do, and you stay safe. So I know that's a very long, roundabout way to explain, what you were talking about with your question, Paul, but it's not the same thing. What we have is different, but it does cost about double what you're paying for the home version. So while the home version, like I said, it's better than, I'd rather see you run that than run nothing. For about $36 more per year, you can have exponentially more powerful protection than what you have now.
I'd rather have like Sophos that you talk about versus, I think the other one on there that was on there was AVG something, or AVG or something like that.
Yep, they got bought, actually. They're not even a thing anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, Avast owns them now. All right. Hey, Paul, thank you for the call. I appreciate you joining us on the show today. And just give us a call in any of the service centers. Moving you over to the Sophos version, like the business grade version of Sophos, we can do that over the SHROCK desk. You don't even have to come in. We can do it right online for you. Thanks for the call, Paul.
Okay.
402-558-1110 is the number to join us. Dale, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Well, I was sending a text message to my daughter while I was listening to you, and it brought up a question I've been trying to remedy on my Android phone that I've had for about a year and a half. It's a Samsung. I'm a terrible speller, and the predictive text, or whatever you want to call it, where you start typing in a word, and it gives you some choices. It's remembered all my misspelled words now.
Yes.
So it learned all my misspellings. Is there a way that I can go out there and clear that somehow so it starts back over again
there
where
is.
it should be?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm typing stuff on my phone, and for some reason my thumb, whenever I type the word SHROCK, which I end up typing a lot, it's SCHROXK, because the X and the C are right next to each other, and my fat thumb. And same thing, when I try to hit the space bar, sometimes I just hit B. So it's just a whole bunch of words with the letter B in between each one of them. And it's like, did AI write this? Or what is this? So if it remembers something in the predictive text that you don't want it to remember, what you can do is long press. So when you're typing the word and it brings up the misspelling, long press on the misspelling. So hold your thumb down on it, and it'll bring up a menu, and you can remove it. You can delete it. And it won't remember that again. Now, the problem is there's not a way, aside from blasting your entire keyboard.
All, though, huh?
Yeah, you can, but then you're clearing the ones it's learned correctly too.
Okay. Well, right now that might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, then you just go into your keyboard settings and you clear the cache, and then poof, it's like a brand new keyboard.
I've looked for it, and I once, because it annoyed me here a while back, and I went into there's a lot of places to look.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything, but yeah, that might work too. Just hold the word. Where do you hold the word on the word?
So just like you would tap when it brings up the predictive text word, just like you would tap on it to fill in the blank.
Oh, okay.
You just long press on it instead.
Oh, okay. Well, that might slowly maybe eliminate some of my misspellings. So.
Yeah, it won't do anything for ducking though.
For what?
Ducking.
What's that?
Well, that's when you're typing that word but with an F at the beginning, and it auto changes it to ducking.
Oh, okay.
Like that ducking SHROCK place, and it's ducking SCHROXK,
Yeah, I get you.
All right, thanks for the call, Dale. I appreciate you being here with us today. See, we got a new guy running the board today, guys, so I got to see how far I can push him before he hits the delay dump button. That's what we're trying to do here. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us. He's doing a great job, though. 888-250-2091. All right, so getting into this Apple stuff, we're talking about security with Sophos and everything else. There's a vulnerability that was announced now it's 3 days ago. So it was 2 days ago yesterday, but 3 days ago today, that impacts all Apple computers and iPads that are equipped with M processors. So this would be the M1, the M2, or the M3. Basically, if you have bought a Mac since 2020, your Mac is infected. So in the last 4 years. So what is the vulnerability? A whole laundry list of things has to go wrong. You have to have a piece of malware on your computer, which a lot of Mac users have because people with Macs don't realize you need antivirus software just like everybody else. You're not impervious. You need Sophos. We can put it on your Mac. But people with Macs, they get a piece of malware on the computer, a piece of errant code that is able to run in a certain way that it breaks the encryption security of any encrypted communications on the computer. So we're talking about secure email. We're talking about iMessage. We're talking about your keychain for your passwords. We're talking about when you go shopping online and you make sure it says HTTPS. Remember back when that was like a news story every Christmas? Make sure if you're shopping online, it's a secure socket layer. Well, it breaks that too. So literally anything that's encrypted on your computer, which of course would also mean cryptocurrency wallets. Your private keys for all of these things can be exposed by one little piece of code that runs on the computer because of a flaw in the coprocessor that accelerates encrypted processing. This is one of the little secret sauce things that makes the M-class processor so awesome, that makes it so fast, faster than any PC processor out there, is because whenever it's doing something encrypted, it has this little extra gas pedal it can hit to go faster. So this was released just a few days ago. There is speculation that Apple may have known about this for a while because they added a new feature to the M3 chip where you can actually change a setting in the Mac and disable the AI acceleration or the cryptography acceleration. If you disable cryptography acceleration, it will knock your processor speed significantly on the Mac. Your Mac will run slow, like a regular laptop, but it'll run safe. You can only do that on M3 level processors. M1 and M2, that option didn't exist. So then the question is, Apple introduced this obviously to the M3. Why would they introduce a feature that lets you knock the speed of your computer by 20%? That makes no sense. Unless they knew about this problem, they knew it was a hardware flaw. It was baked into the hardware. It can't be patched. It's part of the hardware. So they created a workaround in case it ever came to light that at least Macs with M3s could turn it off in secure environments. Think like if you're a defense contractor and you want to use a Mac to design a new Boeing because, we got to fix these things. Do you want to use a Mac to do that now? So they didn't want to lose that market share. And so they created a setting that would allow them to turn off the acceleration. Makes the computer run like garbage, but makes it run safely. But an M1 and M2 iPads don't have that option. So long story short, you're going to continue to use your Mac. Like I said, a laundry list of things have to go wrong for this to be an issue for you. However, high stakes stuff, like if you got a couple Bitcoins in a wallet, that's like 140 grand, guys. So don't keep it on a Mac, period. Don't store cryptocurrency on a Mac. It's not safe. And it blows that we have to say that, because I'm not anti-Mac. A lot of people think I'm anti-Mac for some reason. We have a mixed household. I might be a Samsung PC guy, but my wife, she's got the iPhone. We have iPads. Both of my kids are iPad babies. It's like the Apple stuff. The Apple is strong in the SHROCK household. So it's by no means a knock on Apple here. They're going to genuinely fix this, I'm sure, in future iterations of their processor in the M4, for example. But in the meantime, don't store your cryptocurrency wallets on a Mac, just out of an abundance of caution. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the program, guys, but when we come back, you'll be relieved and pleased to learn that your United Nations is looking out for you. In fact, they're so concerned about AI taking your job that they have now passed unanimously passed a resolution to keep AI Barney style. And we're going to tell you about this wonderful achievement of human ingenuity Coming up next on Compute This.
Computer problems usually don't just suddenly happen. Most failures usually start out as small issues with few or no symptoms. Over time, they grow into error messages, blue screens, and other problems that can be costly to fix. SHROCK Innovations' biannual preventative maintenance checkup catches those small problems now before they can metastasize and become tomorrow's costly repairs. During the maintenance checkup, our experienced technicians perform up to 8 hours of tests, checks, automated repairs, and optimizations that keep your computer at peak efficiency while identifying potential issues while you still have options about how to handle them. When your computer gets its first checkup, it can see up to a 25% performance improvement and leaves our service center cleaned, sanitized, and running better than the day you bought it. Just about every complex device requires maintenance. Your computer is no different, especially considering the valuable information that passes through it every day. If you have not had your computer maintenance in the past 6 months, you are overdue. Stop in or call any of our service centers to arrange a free pickup to ensure your computer continues to work for you.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com.
Have you noticed that almost every piece of technology seems to do its best to be disposable? Every day, people toss their phones, tablets, and other electronic devices because they can't be repaired. Manufacturers have engineered their products to fail on a schedule so they can extract more money out of your family budget automatically every year or so. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could get the performance of today's fastest computers with the expansion and upgrade options you used to enjoy? You just described SHROCK's modular desktop computers. Having the right tool for the job is important, and SHROCK's modular desktop PCs pack the performance and flexibility to handle your computing needs, from just checking the email to running a complex business. Modular desktops are engineered to be easily repaired with widely available industry standard parts. Every component is selected intentionally to give you years of upgrade and repair options. It is not uncommon for a SHROCK customer to be using the same computer for a decade after they bought it. Modular PCs are the most popular custom computers in the Midwest for a reason. When you are ready for your next computer, stop in to check out the modular lifestyle or shop online at SHROCKinnovations.com.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the show, but guess what? Normally we do a live aftershock after this where you can ask me all anything you want to ask me. You know, we can talk about cool stuff that's going on. There's lots of stories that we didn't get to cover today on the program, for example. But I can't stay today. I have to go. But I stayed up late last night, had some great conversations in LinkedIn while I was up, but was recording an aftershock for you. Post-processing it, pandemic style. Like, I literally got the background, I had the Zoom camera back out again, I have my microphone that I haven't used in a year. It only took me like 2 hours to get the environment set up again so I could actually record something that sounded close to a studio. The furnace in the background and stuff. The lighting is way better than on this program, though, on facebook.com/SHROCK Innovations, and that's where you would listen to the Aftershock. What we're going to talk about on the Aftershock today: we've got Bitcoin falling this week. I explain why it's falling, why it's temporary, why you should have some diamond hands and don't sell your Bitcoin. Number 2, DoorDash delivering Wendy's with a drone. That's right, square hamburgers from the sky. We're going to talk about that. Also, I mentioned that I was having some good conversations on LinkedIn. I dig into it a little bit because one of the things is I don't like LinkedIn. I really don't. I don't enjoy using it. It seems like it's just a place where anyone who owns a business is trying to get anyone else who owns a business to do business with them. And there's not very much genuine stuff there, right? But then again, we all go to social media for genuine posts. I mean, isn't that why we're all there? Genuine, real posts? Yeah. Anyway, so, but one of the things is when you're trying to grow your company, when you're trying to venture into these worlds that are beyond what you do in your day-to-day existence. And I explained some of this in the Aftershock. You got to have LinkedIn. So if you are on LinkedIn, you can follow SHROCK Innovations on LinkedIn. Just search for SHROCK Innovations. You'll find us there. We post content there kind of like we do on Facebook. It's just a little bit different. It's more content about the business and the business's structure and things like that rather than posts about the newest cool thing we can do in the business. It's an interesting twist on what we do. You can also follow me, Thor Schrock. You just search for Thor Schrock. You'll find me. They don't limit how many followers you can have. They don't limit any of that stuff. So I don't really care. I let everybody in. So you're guaranteed to get in. Personal Facebook, not so much. Pictures of my kids and stuff there. So we don't do that. All right. So guys, real quick, Scott, last caller of the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, Thor, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes.
I've got an old, believe it or not, I have an old IBM PC that is running a 233 megahertz processor, tape drive. Everything on this thing still works perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
233, that's like a Pentium 2, right?
Yeah. And it's amazing because, believe it or not, I can still web surf on this thing, still play games on it, everything.
Wow.
And it's I mean, granted, the interface is pretty dated, but it still works perfectly.
Okay.
And, I got it sitting in a closet, and I don't use it. Would you be interested in taking it off my hands?
Yeah, we recycle for free at Schrock. So basically, you can drop off any computer you waste.
Well, I was thinking kind of as a kind of a demonstrator model type of thing to show the difference between then and now, but whatever,
Well, it's funny because you're bringing back memories for me because I remember working on those Pentium 2s and the processors were like Atari cartridges. Literally, it was an Atari cartridge. You had to stick it down in the slot and there was like a little, like a I don't know, silicone wafer that went down in a hole. It was, you could blow in it like to clean. You can clean it out and put it back in.
Yeah, like a 3x5. Exactly like a cartridge. You just plug it in.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
you were limited to 8 gigabytes of memory.
And it went up to a maximum of 450 megahertz was the fastest Pentium 2. Then they went to Pentium 3s, and that's when they got into the sockets instead. So, yeah.
It's amazing. You were mentioning nanometer technology, and it's just amazing how I think that was 12, wasn't it?
Oh, heck no. That was like 60.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
40 was considered, good for China a few years ago. Now they're down to 10. But the 40 nanometer stuff is cheap. Like you can get that. That's why auto manufacturers use those old 20 and 40 nanometer chips. They're so cheap and they're slow, but you could put 1 million of them in the car and network them all together, and it does the job. Thank you for the call, Scott. I appreciate you joining us on the show today. Yeah.
Monitors. What would you advise for a large format, like a 43-inch or something in that size, flat monitor, not one of them curved ones, that has high resolution, good frame rate?
That's a great question. What you're going to look for there is the hertz rate on the monitor.
Right.
And if you can get something that's got, if you have a DisplayPort interface on your computer, everything else will take care of itself. So get the biggest monitor you can get that has a DisplayPort interface, a DP interface. It's going to carry audio just like HDMI does, but it goes at a much higher refresh rate, which is going to be easier on the eyes and higher resolutions as well.
Great. Thank you.
Hey, no sweat. That's what we do here. That's what I'd recommend for anybody who's looking for a business monitor, by the way, as well. Something at least 75 hertz. Don't fall into the 60s. Go as high as you can go. All right. So the United Nations has passed a resolution unanimously stating that AI should be safe for the world. Now, it was a non-binding resolution, which means they didn't actually have to vote. They just all kind of like raised their hands and said, aye. And it passed unanimously. The resolution calls for international cooperation for the promotion of safe, secure, and trustworthy AI, continued development and support from member states for regulatory and governance frameworks, issuance of equitable access to the technology across all countries, whether they develop it or not, respect for human rights and their fundamental freedoms, and fair, inclusive, and responsible use of data. What could possibly go wrong here? I'm glad the UN is looking out for us. Congratulations, Dale. You're the winner. $25 SHROCK certificate going to you. Stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up here in about 5 minutes. We'll see you again next Sunday for Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, with locations in Grand Island, Elkhorn, and now Lincoln, this is News Radio 1110.